Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Mozzie. This song that you're about to listen to is dedicated to a fat bully named Mike Demarchi, depending on how you want to say it. My former wrestling coach. And normally, I do not think of this fat bully at all, but because of my job, which is I'm a massage therapist, I meet a bunch of current wrestlers and current wrestling coaches, and when we get to talk about my past with wrestling, they're like, you should totally call him out because he's a jerk. They use other words to describe him, but I'll keep this family friendly and call him a jerk. So first you will hear the song, which is 100% true, and then I will talk about everything that went on. So anyways, hope you all enjoy the song. Catch you on the other side.
I owned every sport when I was young. Then my eyes broke sight, came undone. Going blind hits hard when you live to compete. Mayde Creek was my school, I joined wrestling. Not for the sport, but for my love to compete. Coach Sunhine taught me in the light. No book for coaching, a kid going blind. Watch the tape each night after every meet, learning from all my mistakes. I bled for this sport, I tore my knee for this sport. Every hit to my head lost more vision for this sport. I do it all again for that war, for the grind, the noise, the locker room roar. Sunhine and my brothers had my back, but a fat bully named Demarchi made his mission to attack. That fat bully dragged me from the crew, said you're nothing, I'm replacing you. He lived to make my life dark, tried to break me, left his mark. All for one for all. Oh, Mayde Creek win. All for one for all. I don't fold, I dig in. One meet went deep to overtime, lost on points but I held the line. Didn't give the pin, kept team alive. If I'd been pinned, we'd lose that night. Demarchi trashed me in front of the entire team, said it's your fault, you almost cost us the meet. Room went quiet, nobody spoke. Coach Sunhine walked in, not knowing what was said. He said it's time, wrestler of the week. Without Mozzie we'd be obsolete. He kept fighting, never quit. Demarchi said nothing, wore that pissy look. All for one for all. Hey, Mayde Creek win. All for one for all. I don't fold, I dig in. I wasn't the best, not even close. I never threw in the towel, never folded, won a couple thirds. Put points on the board, have more than enough points, deserve my Letterman jacket. Needed two coaches to make it true. Sunhine in my back said I earned it too. Then that fat bully Demarchi spoke with venom, said I don't think so, and blocked the award. That's alright, I had my team, Sunhine in my corner, living the dream. I let the huddle hear me call. Oh, all for one for all. Oh, Mayde Creek win. All for one for all. Say my name, Mozzie stands tall. All for one for all. Mayde Creek win.
There you go. Hope you enjoyed it. So now let's get to this story. Like, how did I end up in wrestling? So anyways, when I was younger, I played every sport you could think of. Soccer, I was one of the best. I was even playing in an upper level, even won an MVP of the league. I was the fastest on the team. I could score goals. I was also the best goalie, even though I was a shorty. And then I went over to basketball, where I would dominate the playground. I wanted to be the next Muggsy Buggs, but with Jordan talent. And then find out, oh, I'm going blind, but I'm still playing basketball growing up. And I'm destroying people. I destroyed junior college recruits as a junior high kid. But eventually lost too much vision and went into track in high school. Track was fine. I was one of the fastest, but it didn't really feel that competitiveness. I needed something more physical, if that makes sense. And my vision teacher would always talk about one of her students named Eddie, who was on the wrestling team. I personally thought he was blind, but then when I met him, he could read small print books. And I was like, this guy isn't quote unquote blind. I mean, I'm now grown up to learn that blind can mean lots of different things. Not everybody who's blind sees the same, like me. There's people that are like me that went completely blind faster than me. There's people who went blind later in life, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So, anyway, she would always talk to me about this kid named Eddie and how he was on the wrestling team. I never once thought about wrestling. Didn't know anything about wrestling. So, I was like, all right, I'll go give it a shot. Nobody knew how to coach me. Because again, Eddie wasn't exactly a blind wrestler. So no one even taught me how to wrestle like a blind wrestler until my sophomore year. My freshman year, I was JV all the way. And Coach Sondheim would work with me as much as he could, as best as he could. So I have no problems with Coach Sondheim whatsoever. Then my sophomore year comes, and before the season starts, I want to say 6 weeks before the season starts, and the reason why I say 6 weeks is I'm getting to that, is I end up tearing my knee. And this is a major blow to me because I'm going to be varsity at 103, which, by the way, I weighed 98 pounds. And I was like, oh, this stinks. I'm going to miss the beginning of the season. But, and I tore my knee in practice by practicing cradles, and my teammate tore my knee. It's not his fault. I'm not blaming him because we were just being guys, and he kept wrenching on my knee. He's like, kiss your knee. And I'm like, nah, I'm good. I don't need to kiss my knee. It didn't hurt or anything. I didn't feel any pain. But once they did the surgery, I had torn ligaments. I had bone chipping, cartilage damage, torn meniscus. So they're like, you're going to be out minimum 2 months. And I was like, but then I'm going to miss the season. So as a week before the season gets here, I tell the doctor, hey, look at this. I have full range of my knee. I didn't. I have full range of my knee. So if I put a knee pad on, can I wrestle? And he's like, sure, as long as you feel good, you can wrestle. Shouldn't have done that, but I did. So I would be able to wrestle, and for practice, I would wrestle other 103s, 112s, and the 120s. And at this time, there was some medical issues going on with Coach Sondheim's family. We never got the full story. Also didn't need the full story. That's his personal business, whatever. We were all hoping everything worked out for him. and his family. But that left us with a fat bully named Mike Demarchi. However the heck you say that fat bully's name. And this guy hated me. From day one, he hated me. I even tried to get this guy to like me. I was in this stupid baking class that took half a semester. It was basically just to get an easy A. It was this mixed with the other semester was home maintenance. And you would just cook stuff. And one of the things is you had to invite a teacher. And I was like, well, I know this fat coach. We could invite him. He likes food, clearly. So I invited him to that. But he hated me, never liked me. And the way I knew that was he would come up to me and tell me basically that I was trash and that he's going to bring someone to replace me. He would tell me this all the time. He never gave me encouragement, never worked with me, never taught me any moves, never went over anything. And I mean anything. The people who basically coached me was my teammates. And one particular guy I'm going to call out, his name was Cole. He worked with me a lot. He was also my weightlifting partner. And I should also point this out. I would also help out the girls because they didn't have a lot of people to wrestle. At that time, girls wrestling wasn't big. I hear it's pretty big now. And I would help out their lower weight class girls, even the upper weight class girls if they wanted me to. But there was one girl in particular, her name was Tasha. I would work with her all the time because she wanted me basically to treat her like a guy, to not go easy on her. And she ended up going to state, I believe, that year. I'm not saying that was because of me. I mean, I am saying that I helped, but I'm not saying she went to state because of me, because she was good. One of the first few meets that we had, we went to Straight Jesuit. And I ended up losing in like sudden death overtime. But that means I didn't give up the pin, which means we didn't give up 6 points. And we ended up winning because of that. If I would have gotten pinned, we would have lost. And that was on a Thursday. And on the Friday, we come in before practice starts. We're all in there. And fat bully Demarchi says, all right, take a knee, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And he proceeds to trash me in front of the entire team, talking about how I almost cost us that meet. That basically I'm garbage and I'm going to replace you, blah, blah, blah. Not good enough. And then Coach Sondheim walks in, not knowing what was just said by fat bully Demarchi. And he proceeds to say, the wrestler of the week is Mozzie, because without him we would have lost. He wouldn't quit. He kept fighting. And so he gave me, quote unquote, the award. You didn't get anything, but I got that. And that also meant I got to break down the team at the end of practice. But the whole time he was saying, without him, we wouldn't have won. I'm just looking at Coach Demarchi. Don't even want to call him coach because he didn't coach. He didn't teach me a darn thing. I was just staring at him, going, this fat piece of crap just ripped into me in front of the entire team. Look at him with his pissy look on his face. Oh, he must feel like an idiot because he just called me out. So I enjoyed that a lot. again, as the weeks would go on, he would repeatedly tell me he was going to replace me and how I wasn't any good. There was a little tournament practice thing that went on at Katy that a few of us went to. And I was looking forward to this because my grandparents were going to be here. It was the first time they'd be able to see me compete. And I was superstitious to the point where I wouldn't let anybody come and watch me, because it seemed like the days they would come and watch me, I would lose. And the days they weren't there, I would win. So I was like, don't come. But for this, I wanted them to be there because this meet practice thing didn't really count for anything. And my first match was against Katy, and I lost. And right after that, Demarchi says, hey, we need to go talk. And he brings me to the locker room. I have no idea what he's going to say. I thought he was going to give me some encouragement, some tips, something. Or complain about the referee. But he proceeds to once again rip into me. Not to give me any tips, nothing like that. It was just to rip into me, to say that I was trash, that I'm not trying. And here's the thing with me. Don't ever question me about if I'm trying. Because honestly, and this is just my opinion, I tried the hardest out of anyone. Because nobody could coach me. I would watch film my matches after each match just to see if I could pick up something from one of the other wrestlers, or something that I could pick onto, like body positioning, that kind of stuff. Again, nobody taught me even how to wrestle like a blind person until my sophomore year, which is called constant contact. Honestly, it looks like you're playing patty cake. But that's the only thing that I was taught, and that was my sophomore year. No one coached me. Again, Coach Sondheim did his best, and again, my sophomore year, he was in and out because of family stuff. But he was there for the tournaments and dual meets and most of the practices. Not all. Sometimes he'd come for half the practice. But he was going through a lot. So I have no problems with Coach Sondheim whatsoever. But anyways, so Demarchi takes me into the locker room and proceeds to rip into me. And this made my blood boil. To where after he left, I started punching the lockers, kicking them. I was about to trash the place. And one of my friends from elementary school, who was even on the team, his name's Miguel, comes in, and he's the one that calms me down. He's the one that tells me, I know you're trying, don't listen to him, whatever, blah, blah, blah. He's the one that got my mind back on track. Again, the year would go on. Again, nobody's teaching me anything. I'm helping out the girls. I win a couple of matches, and then we have this big, I don't want to call it a big tournament, but we had a tournament at Lamar. Half the team went to Lamar, half the team went to A&M. And sadly, I got the fat bully to come with me to my tournament. This fat bully did not tell us that the rules at the Lamar tournament were different. None of us knew. So my first match, the second period ends. In wrestling, there's usually 3 periods. Also didn't tell me that the length of the period was shorter. I believe they were shorter. I can't 100% guarantee that or promise that, but it was only 2 periods. And after the second period, I lost by a point. And I was getting ready for the third period, and they were raising his hand. And I was like, what the heck is going on here? And I was like, isn't there supposed to be a third period? And they're like, no, this tournament only has 2. And I was like, well, our coach never told us that. Which, also, during this match, my coach is not even there. One of my teammates is coaching me. Again, Cole. And I want to say Tasha was there. Basically, if you'd go support your teammates. If you didn't wrestle that during that time, you'd go support your teammates. So I had a bunch of my teammates over there. And then after that, I was like, okay, I know the rules now. I got it. And I proceed to win the next 3 matches or 4. And I end up wrestling for the bronze medal. And this gym was packed. I mean, there wasn't an empty seat, so it was amazing. It was loud. The crowd was amazing. And you got basically center stage. Everybody was watching you, which I love. And the air conditioner was broken, so it was so hot. I was so dehydrated. And I end up hanging on and winning the medal. And I was the only one from the guy's side who won anything. So they were all there supporting me. And that was the only match. Out of all the matches I won and stuff, that was the only match Demarchi had no choice but to, quote-unquote, coach me. And during this match, I ended up busting my lip, so I'm bleeding. So we're having to stop the bleeding. I'm dehydrated. I have a few of my friends there supporting me, which was amazing. I could hear them yelling and cheering for me, which is rare because normally I don't hear anything when I'm competing. And so, again, win 3rd place. And normally, after you win a medal, your name would get announced in the morning announcements. And I was looking forward to this. They're like, yeah, you're going to get a shout out. You should bring your medal to school because it's a cool medal. And it is a cool medal. It's a big medal. And Demarchi does the morning announcements for the wrestlers. And I'm like, okay, he's about to say my name. And people are finally going to know that I'm on the wrestling team and that I won. And I thought this would be a good confidence booster. And nothing. Doesn't shout me out at all. No mention of me winning the only medal. Nothing. And I was like, okay, whatever. I knew he hated me, so it's fine. It's whatever. Forget him. Again, I had my teammates supporting me. I didn't need him. And I had Coach Sondheim congratulating me. So I could care less what this fat bully had to say. So the year goes on. I win a couple more matches. I win another medal. That medal sucked, so I don't care about it. It was so tiny. So the end of the year comes along. I have double the points, if not close to double the points that I needed for a Letterman jacket. But besides needing points, you needed both coaches to agree to it. Now, before I go into that, let me just say what all I did that year. I came back early from knee surgery. I'm helping out the girls wrestle, and one of them gets to state, which again has nothing to do with me, but I did help. 3, nobody can coach me. Nobody knew how to coach a blind athlete. Didn't learn the constant contact thing until a few dual meets after. Like, it wasn't even at the beginning of the year. And I definitely didn't know about it my freshman year. And each hit I take, getting thrown onto the ground, I lose vision. So I'm losing vision for this sport. I tore my knee for this sport. I lost vision for this sport. I bled for this sport. All that stuff. And before practice would start, I would have this routine where I'd go weigh in and then just lay on the mat. This was at the end of the year. Season was over. I'm laying on the mat. Both coaches come in and they're doing their chat. And they're talking about the Letterman jacket. And they have no idea that I can hear them. As far as they know, I'm sleeping. Because for some reason, people used to think that I would sleep on the mat with my eyes open, which is just crazy. I would hear all sorts of craziness. But Coach Sondheim's like, yeah, Mozzie has the points. He's done a lot. I think he deserves the Letterman. And Fat Bully Demarchi says, nope, I don't think he deserves it. I don't agree to it. So I don't get my Letterman. To this day, if I meet one of my former teammates out in the wild or talk to them on Facebook, they thought I got my Letterman jacket. Never got it. Never got it. And another thing he would do is, so for wrestling, there's even a class you can take. It's not really a wrestling class. It's just a way for us to train. So we would do like weightlifting, stuff like that. But at the end of the year, it was just goof off, really. But I still enjoyed the weightlifting part. And then some days they would go play flag football, but obviously I can't see to play flag football, so I would just sit on the sideline and watch. And one day, for some reason, the fat bully was like, what are you doing? And I'm like, watching them, just watching. And he's like, you need to do something. And I'm like, okay. He's like, you need to run around the schools. So Mayde Creek High School was grouped with the elementary and junior high. And sometimes we would run around the schools. And since I came from track, I always finished in the top with the seniors. So me running around the schools did nothing for me. It's not like it increased my stamina or anything like that. And I was like, you want me to run around the schools while they play flag football? And he's like, yeah, they're doing something. I'm like, no, they're not. They're throwing a ball and just goofing off. And he's like, no, you need to run around the schools. And of course I would do that. And I would see my vision teacher once a week. And when she would come and get me out of class or study hall, she could tell that I was like angry. And she's like, what's going on? And I would talk to her. I thought I was talking to her in confidence. And she went and told the coach that I had a problem with him. And I knew nothing was going to come out of this. If anything, it was going to make things worse. And it did. I was so mad at her for talking to him. Because like, oh, I didn't know running around the schools was going to be a problem or something like that. It's just that they're doing something, so whatever. And I was like, the dude is constantly trashing me. He never gives me tips, never tells me how to be a better wrestler. It was always just, you suck, you're trash, I'm going to replace you. And anytime he brought in people, I would destroy them. So I wouldn't even see them again. So then my junior year comes along. Feeling pretty good. I didn't get my Letterman, but I was still feeling pretty good. I was originally going to stay at 103 because I came in weighing in at 106. But if I would have went to 106, I would have taken this freshman spot and would have left 112 empty. And I was like, this isn't good for the team. Yes, I would have won more matches at 103, but then it would have left 112 empty and we would have lost. So I was like, I'll stay at 112 and let Stevie, this new freshman, stay at 103 so we have a full team. I could have been selfish and went down to 103 and won way more matches than I did the previous year, but I was like, I don't want to do that to the team. So I stayed at 112. I'm helping out the freshmen. Again, I'm still helping out the girls. The season is about to start. We had our quote-unquote tryouts, but our tryouts wasn't really like a tryout. It was mainly just to see if you could hang, because our practices were tough. And even though Coach Sondheim left after my sophomore year, we still kept his training. And he was a former drill sergeant, so we did all that stuff. So if you could hang with us for practice, then you could stay on the team. And so I'm helping out the freshmen. And they're talking about having the vote for who's going to be the team captains this year. And I was like, the freshmen kept coming up to, I'm going to vote for you, I'm going to vote for you. And I was like, do not vote for me. Vote for Ben. Vote for Matt Simo. Don't vote for me. Because if you vote for me and Demarchi sees my name on that paper, he's going to be mad. So I have no idea if they were being serious about it, but I told them not to do it. And I don't know if any of them listened to me. I don't know if they put my name down. But either way, I wasn't named, that which I was perfectly fine with. I think Ben did get it. I believe Matt Simo did get it. And that was great. So I was all about the team my junior year. But still, Demarchi would come and tell me, I'm going to replace you. You're trash. He never coached me. Never told me how to do moves. Never told me he's leaving a leg or anything like that. It was always, you're just trash. I'm going to replace you. I'm bringing somebody in to replace you. Where in my head, I was like, you do know I could go down to 103 and take that spot. But I never did. And at that time, Stevie could not beat me my junior year. I'm sure he could have beat me his sophomore year. Because when I saw him in college, the dude was tall. So I don't even know what weight class he would have been in. But as a junior and him as a freshman, I destroyed him. Yes, Stevie, I did say that. I destroyed you. I'm sure you'll disagree with that, but you never beat me. And again, I was still working with the girls. And then as the year went on, it turned out I had mono. Had no idea I had mono. But I still showed up to practice every day. I mean, each time I got thrown down, I was like, nah, I'm cool here. I'm just going to lay down. But then in a tournament, I got thrown on my head. And then I'm not saying it was because of this. It was because of the mono. I ended up in the hospital and had a bow out. And then when I asked if I could still be on the team as the water boy, he said no. So he wouldn't even let me come back to the team. That's how much of a jerk he was. He's such a bully. And now he's coaching at Seven Lakes. That's sad and funny to me. So to all those athletes, good luck. To all his former athletes, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. Heck, maybe he got better. But from what I hear from these wrestling coaches and wrestlers, he's a jerk. They use other language, but for YouTube, he's a jerk. And maybe I was his one and only blind wrestler. Or maybe there was some that came after me and he actually improved. And I hope he did. But my experience with him is that he was nothing but a fat bully. who never once said anything good to me except for one time when I won a match, which was the same day that I got thrown on my head, I believe. He lifted me up in the air. But when it came to tournaments, practices, he never encouraged me, never helped me with moves. He would always just tell me I'm trash and that he was going to replace me. And that was my experience with him. Even though I never did anything to him, I was a goofball. I will say that. I was always making people laugh. But when it came to wrestling and stuff, it wasn't like I was goofing off or anything like that. But yeah, that was my experience with the Fat Bully. Anyways, hope y'all enjoyed the song. And I hope y'all enjoyed this video, basically. But anyways, till the next one. Later, peoples.